Hi all, Hipper here. Today is about Wichita, and if you haven't noticed lately in my Wichita videos, then I have actually changed my usual Kincaid commander for Shelly Beepley, as you see here. And I have the same inspirations, which are Müller and Azure Lane Baltimore. And I think Beepley is a really good choice for Wichita because in addition to the radar, which you get with any commander, you also get the twist and track with the Beepley, and that is very useful in those battles where you are ending up alone versus one or two destroyers, and it really is the difference between like having to chase destroyers around the map for ages and simply being able to tell exactly where they are and then popping your radar and taking them out. And that's why I have changed to Beepley while still maintaining my agile build. I still have a less than 2-second rudder, and I still go nearly 40 knots. So I'm not really giving up anything now that I have Azure Lane Baltimore as an inspiration. So that's why I'm gonna go with Beepley for the future on Wichita and probably Baltimore as well. So right from the beginning here, the cruiser that I spawned with over here, he runs away, and the battleship that I spawn with, he decides to follow me the whole game until he dies. And if you notice the battleship that spawns in the middle, that's heading over here to my flank, he ends up doing the exact same thing. And I keep saying this ship here is, no, this game here, well, the ship as well, but the game is about setting up crossfires. And the thing about crossfires is that they don't exist if all ships on one team are in the same location or in the same spot. Like, you cannot all sit in the same spot and fire at the enemies, because all the enemy has to do is turn bow on, and like you've lost your competitive edge there. So you can see here, like, I want to push up this way here, but because the battleship is at the same angle I am, he's also got to contend with a bow tanking King George, which is a problem. It takes much longer to kill a bow tanking ship than a broadside ship. So that's why I try to set up crossfires, try to get at the enemy team's broadside. If that means just like not following the other players around, well, that's what you gotta do. So because there's no one to take advantage of this King George's broadside here, I'm getting pushed back, and I'll have to waste valuable time trying to burn this ship down here, instead of simply showing my broadside for a second, luring him into shooting at me, and then the battleships get at his broadside and take him out like 10 times faster than this thing here. See, we're nearly 3 minutes into the battle, and this ship here really is an easy kill, and it's taking much too long. We're wasting valuable time on this flank here, because we are the strong flank here. You can see the left flank, there's only a destroyer left. The cruiser was taken out almost immediately. So what that means is that we need to push up on this flank here, and we need to do it quickly so we can catch the enemies in crossfires. But already now we wasted so much time that the enemies have managed to get into a pretty solid position up there. You can see there's 3 battleships and a cruiser protecting this side here. And like I said before, you see my battleships are in the same spot as I am now, and that's just not very useful. They should take up a similar position like the Richelieu on the red team on the other flank. Like he can cover the whole area, and he's just sitting there waiting for broadsides, and that's the way to go. So I'll have to try to push up now, because we're not even 5 minutes into the game, but we are losing. I've played this game enough to know when a team is too timid and just not aggressive enough. So I'm going to lead the way, and then we'll see if we can push through the resistance up here. It's going to be unlikely, simply because I don't have much faith in those two battleships there, and I will need their help. I mean, there are too many enemies for me to burn down 4 enemies at the same time and still survive. So right now we can still turn this battle here, but as you can see, there's no destroyers left on the enemy team, so I don't have much use for my radar. So this is going to be pretty much a DPM fight from now on. There's not going to be any sneaky torp attacks that will suddenly take out a whole battleship. That's not going to happen, because I don't have torps, and we don't have any... well, we have well, not anymore, we don't have any destroyers left either. So this is going to be... yeah, a pretty long, drawn-out battle here. And I'm contemplating now if I should head back and defend the base, because I can see the Reds are up to no good. And if you see, the Abruzzi got taken out by the Richelieu, which was like very, very simple. He's sailed straight at the Richelieu and must have just got absolutely punished coming around the corner. And I still have these 2 battleships here following me on the same vector, which makes them pretty much useless. If only one of them had, like I said before, taken up a similar position to the Richelieu, it would be much better. Because then I could push in the middle between the 2 battleships and try to set up some juicy broadsides for them. But as it is, that's just not going to happen. And it's a bit of a shame, really. Because we could have won this battle here. But obviously, that's not going to happen. So, and speaking of broadsides here we have a Scharnhorst, and this guy is going to be broadside on for like an incredibly long time, and none of the battleships behind me seem to take notice of it and punish him for that mistake. And that's just unforgivable, really. Look, there he is, he's just sitting there and he's just begging to be citadeled. And I have 2 battleships behind me, but they're not in a position to fire, if they're even looking that way. I have no idea. So I'll just try to burn him down the best I can and see if I can at least take a bit of his hit points off. Now I have one of the battleships with me as an Amaji, and like showing your broadside like that to an Amaji really should be a ticket back to port almost immediately. Even if you are a Scharnhorst and it's hard to citadel you, you will take massive damage from an Amaji that can get at your broadside like that. But as happens in this game, nothing absolutely happens to this guy at all. And I'm starting to see that I'm going to have to fall back and defend the base now, because we're down to 3 versus 5 now, and I can see the cruisers, the red cruisers over the island here are heading towards our base. And obviously the battleship's never going to make it back there in time, so I'll have to do it. And for battleships players who have been so careful the whole game, then suddenly they just both attack uncoordinated and wildly like this, and obviously not going to end well. So that'll of course be part of my reasoning that okay, this is not going to end well. I have to return to base and at least try to drag this out a little bit, because we are behind on points, but not like terribly behind. It can still be salvaged. Now I tend to believe that the reason people follow me around the map is actually because I'm a well-known player, and when they see me in the match lineup, usually someone gives the command to protect that target or whatever, something like that. And then I have like a tail of like sometimes 2 or 3 ships following me the whole battle. And like I said before, that's not the way you win. I mean, like there's no need to babysit, well, pretty much anyone in this game here, except perhaps a destroyer in trouble. But definitely there's no reason to follow a cruiser around and give up all the chances to set up broadsides and actually win the game, just because you think you are actually helping a player out, because you're not. So I actually managed to burn down that Scharnhorst on my own and get an arsonist for it, which is yeah, quite an achievement, and not in a good way. And at the same time, I saw the Helena going for the base. So I will spin up my turbines here and hit my probably around 40 knots and just steam full speed down to the base to make sure nobody caps it. That means leaving the battleship behind, yes, but the game is over for that guy anyway. So we're rushing back at just under 40 knots now, and I'll be spotted at any second, and that happened now. So this is one of the situations where Wichita does its like absolute best work, and unfortunately that Richelieu there, he's out of range. But you can see here at just pushing in like this and using the agile build to avoid incoming salvos like this, and simply making the enemies waste their time and their effort while you are relentlessly approaching them. That's what Wichita does really well. The problem is when you get up close, Wichita doesn't have any torpedoes, of course. So you're not going to be able to up your damage output just by getting closer. You're kind of relying on like sort of scaring the enemies into doing something stupid, basically. Like showing broadside like this. So I'm trying desperately to reset this cap here and then I just fire my radar, so I'm not going to be surprised by the Helena, but I know roughly where he was. I just wanted to know if he was running away or he was staying. But he is obviously staying, so I will give him a shot of high explosive there, and then as soon as he presents the broadside, we'll switch back to AP and hopefully take him out. So I was able to reset the cap, so time is on my side now. And I am getting a few nasty fires from this Helena and the Suzuya at the same time, the two fire starters here. And I am getting torp attacked as well. But like I say, with an agile build, this is the situation that's pretty much built for. See how we avoid salvos, and at the same time we're also avoiding torpedoes. And that way I'm able to out DPM 2 ships when really I should probably have lost this battle here. And yeah, I agree, they shouldn't show broadside the way they're doing, but even if they weren't, I would probably have walked away victorious from this this battle here no matter what. So I just need to get this Suzuya out of the way here so I can turn around and deal with that Richelieu that I know for sure is on its way. And that's why I'm in a little bit of a hurry here, because if he comes around the corner and I'm broadside like this, that's not going to be very helpful for my chances of winning this battle here. So I need to get this cruiser out of the way as quickly as possible. So I don't want to get too close so he can torp me, and of course I know torps are on the way. So I have that in my mind. And of course I'm just slowing down and making sure I'm turning very, very sharply to kind of surprise him and make him lose, well, waste his torps, which he did there. So that's 2 cruisers here. They're trying to take the base. We took them out, and now we just have to face the rest of the team pretty much. Now I'm down to 1/3 health. I'm just gonna heal in a second, and then I'll be up to about 1/3 health. And the Richelieu comes around the corner in a second, and he's about 1/3 health too, maybe a little bit over, more, maybe 40%. And that's actually good odds for Wichita versus Richelieu, because I can just bow tank him. Like the caliber on his guns isn't very high, and it's not really a threat. And even if he's shooting HE, I should be able to out DPM him. And I actually have 2 options. I can either just stop when I see him and bow tank my way out of the predicament, or I can go full speed around him like I do sometimes. Depends on the situation, and that way you can get at his soft backside where there's no primary batteries, and there's only a few secondaries, and they don't really do much damage. But unfortunately, as you can see, the time is running out here, but I reckon I could have walked away victorious from this one-on-one here as well. Then there will still be a cruiser left, and that is of course unknown. But anyway, that was a Wichita battle for you, and I hope you enjoyed it, so I'll see you out there.